It has now been confirmed that only working royals will be on the balcony, so Harry and Meghan won't get the photo that will be the trailer for their next Netflix documentary.
It's official. Harry and Meghan have been blocked from the royal balcony for the king's coronation. And no two people deserved it more. Even a sex toy company just smashed the Meghans. Take Harry. He just attacked his family, tried to upstage the king, upstage the prince, and even thumbed his nose at UK citizens' economic fears, all while playing the victim in the press. Then you have in California, Princess Pinocchio, rejected by every Hollywood elite, just fluffed up her bio in anticipation of 2 awards she purchased for her personal shrine. And that's just for starters. You know when something sheds its skin 4 to 12 times a year? Good chances are it's a snake. Welcome, everybody. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend, my friends, and you're feeling good and fired up to take on the Meghans. These bottom drawer celebrity name droppers have been busy. Next month, 10 days after the king's coronation, the D-list Duchess of Do-Nothing is going to receive the 2023 Women's Vision Award from Gloria Steinem in New York. Now, do you notice anything funny about Walmart Wallace's bio? I'm going to tell everybody so we don't have to read it because it's obnoxious and it's nauseatingly self-congratulatory for 3 paragraphs of Meghan's own self-worship. But in the final line, she actually mentions her children. That's right. She remembered, well, look, I have some kids. That's actually a hair better than what Harry's done in any of his other bios for the companies he pretends to work for. He can't even recall he has offspring. But what really takes the cake is the award Meghan is going to be given, what it actually represents and who it was meant for. The award, bestowed by the Miss Foundation, a Brooklyn-based organization that works to bring attention to the real challenges facing women, especially women of color and low-income women who are living in poverty. Now, does Meghan Markle look like she represents low-income women who are fighting for their survival to live their life? Absolutely not. The only thing the 2 abusers know how to do is watch more television than they actually know how to work. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex's Archwell Foundation just released the charity's 2021 tax filings, and it looks like Prince Harry, 38, and Meghan Markle, 41, only worked on their nonprofit for a total of 52 hours that year, which is essentially just 1 hour a week. And as you can imagine, this did not go down well with royal experts and members of the public alike. Now, the Meghans love virtue signaling, but what they love even more than that is collecting these pay-for-play awards that they can polish off and put in their participation trophy cabinets and just look at and smile. They can feel all egotistical and good about themselves. But the reality is they hate working. Otherwise, they would be right now senior working members of the royal family. But the monarchy doesn't want lounge lizards who loaf around collecting celebrity friends who need a narcotic fix on a daily basis to satisfy their need for fame. No, they want people who are dedicated to their citizens, who understand service and duty and live an honorable life. Let's take King Charles III's upcoming coronation. You're talking about a religious and solemn ceremony that dates all the way back to Edgar, the king of all England in 973 AD. The hater and the hustler, they don't see that as a time for the country to celebrate, but as a moment that is ripe for revenge. They want every newspaper's headlines blasting with the same thing it's been doing for the last month. Will the Meghans attend the coronation? Will they show up or will they not? And if they do, will they overshadow the coronation with their drama?
Yeah, that's totally me.
People from all walks of life and every aspect of business and industry are done. They're like, enough is enough. Silence is golden. That's a digital billboard from sex toy company Love Honey, another company in an industry that usually doesn't get concerned with royal life, but they are frustrated and they're telling Harry, put a gag in it. We're done. Go in your corner, shut up, buy a private line, and just go away. And it proves once again that South Park's worldwide privacy tour was spot on.
It's the worldwide privacy tour. We want privacy. We want privacy.
Even Sarah Ferguson has stepped into the ring to offer a few wise words of counsel to the Meghans. Well, you can't have it both ways, says the Duchess about leaving the royal family. You can't sit on the fence and keep 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You're either in or out. But then don't cry about not being invited to weddings. You choose to leave, now go and live it and be it.
Don't worry, my love.
So many like Sarah are finally standing up for their country. Take royal correspondent Robert Johnson's new book, Our King. It details the behind-the-scenes war going on between the Montecito wannabes and the true royals. Charles was frustrated at Harry's bad manners for overshadowing his 2016 Gulf tour by releasing the statement confirming his relationship with Meghan, but demanding they be left alone. The Queen was mystified by Harry and Meghan's public criticisms of the monarchy and members of the royal family, and described their behavior as quite mad. Charles and William decided they could not risk being alone with Harry again after the Sussexes' bombshell interview with Oprah Winfrey in March of 2021, and would no longer treat him as a trusted member of the family. These are just a few of the frustrations and facts that are starting to come out into the daylight. And thank God for it. This is the best cure to deal with someone who's acting like a plague on the kingdom and its citizens as a cancer. You want the disinfecting power of sunlight and real truth. Even the Daily Mail's latest headline shouts and confirms what we already know. Kate found the Windsor walkabout with Harry and Meghan after Queen's death one of the hardest things she ever had to do because of the ill feelings between the couples. Sensational new book reveals. Can you imagine the strength, dignity, and grace of Princess Kate? Imagine right now she had to deal for 6 years with these pampered abusers. Take Harry, a jet-setting, climate change hypocrite who flew 5,000 miles from his California chicken coop all the way to London just so he could roost his royal rump and spew some hate in high court and then attack his family with a sworn statement.
However, as a member of the institution, the policy was to never complain, never explain. There was no alternative. I was conditioned to accept it. The institution was without a doubt withholding information from me, and that has only become clear in recent years as I have pursued my own claim with different legal advice and representation.
You know, on top of the attacks against his own blood, now the privacy prince is savaging a British newspaper for, of all things, violating his privacy. So I'm going to take a breath for a second before I bust a gut laughing. Just one quick one. Because we're talking about the very same man who peddled private family matters to publishers for a paycheck and then went to a giant streaming service to relish in private family gossip. All for what? For money during the time that his late grandmother, Queen Elizabeth, was sick and his grandfather, Prince Philip, was on his deathbed. And now you have Netflix, which is the same studio currently filming season 6 of The Crown. They're going to detail the grisly final moments of his mother's death. Princess Diana, Harry has made an altar to on every page of his book and in every interview he's ever gotten or ever been paid for. Yet he hasn't said a word because he knows who fattens his wallet. He's been quiet as a church mouse. And this man expects everyone to listen to his lectures on the media, and he's acting like he's a virtuous white knight? Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm bringing this claim because I love my country and I remain deeply concerned by the unchecked power, influence, and criminality of Associated, he said. The evidence I have seen shows that Associated journalists are criminals with journalistic powers which should concern every single one of us. The British public deserve to know the full extent of this cover-up, and I feel it is my duty to expose it.
Thank goodness Harry has admitted to drug use. Otherwise, how can you explain his statements? I mean, no one is going to believe that Harry stood up for his country out of love. It's the same country he turned his back on, the same crown and sovereign that he savaged day after day. I mean, reality check? He must have smoked something funny on his way to London. And that's interesting. He didn't have to show up. The judge told him you don't have to make an appearance. You could just phone it in via Zoom call. But see, he had other ideas. He wanted to upstage King Charles and the Queen Consort Camilla when they were out of town on their first official state visit. But funny enough, fate has a funny way of dealing the cards. Harry's plans backfired big time. Pa didn't even give Halfwit the time of day, nor did the press. Not really. Only Meghan's very close friends, the paparazzi and her speed dial, showed up. And one of them nearly got mowed down.
Why are you here, sir? What do you have to do, sir? Morning.
If anything in that video proves is that Harry no longer needs to be flanked by this private army of special forces security guards. There's no one's a threat to him because no one cares. He's not in danger. We saw in the video what he has 2, maybe 3 bodyguards at most. Even his secondary lawsuit in the high court against his father, since he's the head of the monarchy, demanding that he have armed metropolitan police by his side is a smokescreen. The halfwit just wants to look important. He wants to feel big with all those people around him. Must be compensating for his frozen touch. Nothing more. And how do we know this? Because Harry walked right down the center aisle through the front doors of the courthouse. But you didn't see Elton John or Sadie Frost or the other celebrities following his lead. Nope, they used the rear entrance. Why? It's simple. When they state they want a private life, they actually mean it. And once again, South Park was proven right.
What the hell? What are you looking at? You ever heard of privacy?
What?
We did learn one more thing from that video clip, is that in a time where the UK consumer is suffering one of the worst economic crises this century, trying to fight to put food on the plate for their children or pay the electricity bill so no one freezes at night, you have the formerly laid-back guy who used to boast about using the UK's version of TJ Maxx called TK Maxx so he could make some savings and save the sovereign grant a few pounds. The same guy, Prince Hairplugs, is now out there parading his new corporate sponsorship and his $1,200 Christian Dior shirt. Prince Harry signals new income stream with designer sponsorship deal. Thank God, no matter what they do, we still have great news. Like I mentioned in the opening, Walmart Wallace and Prince Hairplugs are banned from the royal balcony for the king's coronation. Now, all the information that I've gone through, whether it was that sticker book we went through in the last video for the king's coronation or any of the material release, what's going to be going on in Westminster Abbey that day, the Meghans are mentioned nowhere, even in the impressive invitation that was publicly released by the monarchy this week. No one's seen their name anywhere. And then we have the Daily Mail released a photo detailing the Buckingham Palace's balcony roster. You know what? The Meghans did this to themselves. They thought that they were bigger than the crown. They thought that they could upstage the monarchy at any time of day. They thought celebrity was the same as love from your country's people. They demanded this week that the king sing happy birthday during the coronation to their kid. People's eyes are open to who they really are. The couple now are not only made fun of in Montecito by South Park, but they've achieved their dreams of world dominance by becoming global fools.
Meghan from United States and Harry
from England.
Now, if you enjoyed that video and you found value in it, hit the subscribe button, push the notification bell, and leave your thoughts and questions in the comments down below. And remember that we never bow down, we never bend the knee. Always forward.
And I love to cook. I don't know if a lot of people know that. Maybe they do.